You know, two things are kind of questionable about the name of this show, and that is, it's called The Four Seasons, but it's not 4 seasons of a show. It's 8 episodes of a show that's literally called 4 Seasons, and even though we're in, like, May at this moment, we're still only in the first season of, like, the 4 seasons that the show is taking place in. That's kind of weird. But you know, cheers to that.
The filming Daniel.
Hey guys, it's Daniel here, back again with a new review. And today I'm going to be giving you my review of the brand new Netflix series, The Four Seasons. So The Four Seasons follows these 6 friends who have been friends for a very long time. Many of these friends are partners with each other, like in love with each other, like they have their own girlfriends and boyfriends, but they're still a group of friends regardless, and it follows them throughout the 4 seasons of a year, including spring, summer, fall, and winter, as they get together on various occasions to hang out during getaways, while also trying to deal with the fact that one of their friends, named Nick, is planning to divorce his wife Anne, and how the divorce affects the group in various ways. Now, when I first heard about the 4 seasons, the first thing that came to my mind was, many of these actors I'm surprised are in this show together. Primarily, I was very shocked and kind of impressed that Colman Domingo, yeah, I'm talking about him once again, I've been talking about him very recently on this channel, is working with famous British comedians Steve Carell and Will Forte, as well as Tina Fey as well, who I hear is really good. And I was like, wow, I'm very proud of Colman that he's getting more work after he finished Fear the Walking Dead. He's working with like these big named actors now, and I was like, man, this is going to be very interesting. So, of course, anything with Colman is going to be up my alley. So, I was very looking forward to seeing this series, and I was interested to see how it was going to turn out. So, I finally watched all 8 episodes of this series, which I assumed was going to be a mini-series, but then I saw the news that it was renewed for a season 2. So I was like, okay, if they can get a season 2 for something that was a mini-series like this, why couldn't Walking Dead Ones Who Live do that? But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Now that I've seen the 4 seasons, not the 4 seasons of a TV show, I mean 8 episodes of a show called The 4 Seasons. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the 4th season of this show is the final one, because then you literally have 4 seasons. I'm getting distracted. What do I think of this series? I think that this season was really good. I thought it was very charming and very lovely, and also very hilarious at times. Although I do have a few problems with it, but I still really enjoyed it and I had a lot of fun watching it. First off, the acting from all of the actors and the characters they play are very charming and very like fit into like the sitcom kind of style that this show is going for. In my opinion, the 3 standouts of this season, which are people from the main group of friends that we have, are Steve Carell, Will Forte and Colman Domingo's characters of Nick, Jack and Danny. Nick I find very charming, but also I really do feel sorry for him throughout this season, because he's a character that has fallen out of love with his wife and is now dating someone new, but we can tell that he's trying to like keep the friendship between all the group of friends together. But he's also very questionable about what he wants, about whether or not what he does is the right thing. And anybody who has either divorced someone or gone through a breakup can really relate to Nick in this situation. Jack, I think, is very admirable as well, because despite some of the crazy situations that he gets up to with his wife, he still always looks on the bright side and always tries to find good ways to make sure everybody in the group is benefited from and helped, which I find very kind and admirable. And of course, Coleman Domingo, man, like, you can't go wrong with him. And his character, Danny, I also find very likeable. He has a good relationship with his boyfriend, and he's also very hilarious many times as well. In fact, some of his comments that he makes to Nick are just like bullseye. Like, especially in episode 4 or 3, it's one of the episodes that takes place during the summertime, and him just like commenting about what's going on with Nick's new girlfriend, it's pretty hilarious. And also, again, it's a little bit weird, yet kind of fun and cool at the same time to see Coleman interacting with Steve Carell and Will Forte. I was like, man, this is weird, but I'm kind of digging it, and I cannot wait to see what more celebrities Coleman works with next. As for the other members of the group, we have Tina Fey's character, which she can get a little bit annoying sometimes, but I think that's kind of the whole point between, like, the relationship between her and Jack, Will Forte's character, is that she can be a little bit of a nag and can't look on the bright side as much as Jack does. So I think that was kind of the point, but at the same time, some moments where she kind of makes a bit of a naggy comment to Jack is downright hilarious, and their banter back and forth is, like, very cute, but also funny at the same time. But she also has a good enough conscience to learn whether she has made a mistake or is trying to figure out the right advice to give to one of her friends, which again I find very admirable. Coleman Domingo's character's boyfriend is very likeable as well, but again he can also sometimes be a little annoying, but I think even Coleman's character can get a little annoyed by him sometimes, so I guess that was the point. And also, I find it very interesting that this actor who plays Danny's boyfriend wasn't actually an actor for a very long time. I think this actor worked on behind the scenes thing, but the last time he said that he was in acting was like nearly 2 decades, like 15 years or something, but I believe Coleman asked him to be a part of it, which I find very interesting, and it's good to see this guy getting back to acting, because I bet that's what he really loved doing before he stopped doing that stuff. Another character I find very admirable, and I think is another major standout, that wasn't officially part of the group of friends, like the core 6 group of friends, is Erica Henningsen. I do hope that's how you pronounce her name. I'll put her actress right here, who I know for being the voice of Charlie from Has Been Hotel as the character of Ginny, who is Nick's new girlfriend. I was expecting Ginny to be like kind of like that hyperactive girlfriend that would also be very, very naggy, and it would cause Nick to kind of be like, okay, I made a mistake divorcing my wife. But to be honest, no, that's not what she is at all. She's actually a very lovely, kind-hearted, optimistic and positive woman. I can totally understand why Nick has fallen for her, not because of the age difference, like they mentioned many times in the show, but more for her personality. The only time she does kind of make a questionable comment is like during the 7th episode, but that's really about it. And even that, you can still understand her little frustration in that scene. But I honestly couldn't help but feel sorry for her, because she's a new person in this group of friends, and she feels a little bit awkward when she's talking to them or Nick's ex-wife. But honestly, it's very relatable for anybody who is like the girlfriend of someone who's already been in a relationship. And I really wanted her to make sure she can find her place within this group of friends and get along with them well, because I definitely think that she deserved it, because she's such a likeable, kind-hearted and positive woman. And I absolutely loved the chemistry between all of these characters. The core 6, you could definitely tell that these people were best friends for a very long time. They support each other, try to give each other the right advice, and still have their moments of arguments, but also like heated, hilarious banter, which I think anybody within a group of friends that is like flatmates or college mates, I think can really relate to them. And I find a lot of charming and wholesome moments between these group of friends, especially one in the last episode, which takes place in the winter time, which honestly is such an admirable and wholesome moment. I wouldn't mind watching that scene during Christmas, because it was very like fuzzy and adorable at the same time. The cinematography in the show is very wonderful as well, and I really like how it captures the certain seasons that take place in the year. Like, you have spring, which is bright. You have, like, the summertime, where everything is even more brighter and way more, like, vibrant and colourful, because that's what summertime is for you. You have, like, the fall time, which is pretty mid, but still very nice. And you have winter time, which makes you want to, like, cuddle up and get yourself a nice hot chocolate, which I think anybody in wintertime would do. And I think that the show filmed and represented the 4 seasons very well. And the music as well is not half bad either. There's some awesome pieces of music, some wholesome moments, and I really like the little fancy, like, violin string that shows up during, like, each episode's opening, because it makes it feel off as very posh and stylish, but also very unique at the same time. But as much as I really appreciated this series for its humour, its wholesome moments, and its characters and relationships, I do have a couple problems with it. In my opinion, the thing that I really disliked the most about this season, I mean, this is probably just a personal thing with me, but I really did not respect this about the season, is that I feel like the season can be too judgmental and putting down on Nick's decision to divorce his wife. Now, it's understandable why some of these characters would act this way, but sometimes I feel like some characters would go too far when they would be like, you just made a big mistake. You might have just, like, ruined your family because of your decision to do this. And in my opinion, I know this happens in real life as well, and again, this is probably just a personal thing with me, but I personally feel like every human being who has, like, a kind heart and, like, very nervous side to them have the right to make choices that would be better off for them, because nobody can help falling out of love. And if they fall in love with someone else, that's nothing that is really to be ashamed of, because anybody could have those feelings. It doesn't matter if the relationship with the previous partner was good or bad, they'll still, like, have those feelings. And as long as that person is being kind and being, like, understanding but still observant, then I personally will respect their decision to fall out of love with someone. And in my opinion, Nick, he's a really nice guy and very supportive of his friends, and even his ex-wife he's still respectful to. Yet some of these characters I feel like were putting Nick into, like, the little position where they think, oh, he's done the wrong thing and, you know, we should probably just make him suffer for it, which honestly I was not very getting into as well, because they try to make these little moments come off as humorous, but for me, if it's something that's kind of like that kind of department, then I'm not laughing at some of these scenes where Nick is getting humiliated or being mistreated just because he wanted to have this divorce. I honestly didn't laugh at some of the things that he was going through. I honestly, like, the whole time I was just feeling sorry for him. And some of these characters, oh my god, this is one of the worst scenes of this season. Some of these characters I feel like go way too far, especially his ex-wife and his daughter. His ex-wife, Anne, at first I did like her because she was very optimistic and putting her heart out into something that would surprise Nick and would really give him the best appreciation, that I found very admirable, and I really loved her determination and her effort to make her husband happy. However, when the cat is out of the bag with Nick, then she suddenly turns into somebody that is like revenge hungry, spiteful, and a bit rude. I mean, maybe those words are, like, too far, but she would sometimes be like that, especially with some of her, like, attitude towards Ginny. It's not too bad, but still some things I feel like, okay, that's a little bit harsh. But I think the show was aware of that, and she does make up for it later on, which I won't give away. And his daughter, she does something, I won't spoil what it is, but she does something in, like, the 5th episode of the season. It's basically, they frame it as, like, her way of expressing how she feels about the divorce, but it just rubbed me the wrong way and made me look at the screen and be like, what the hell are you doing? Like, this is very disrespectful and rude to not only Nick, but also Ginny, because it doesn't matter if Ginny is witnessing this action or not, it's the principles that you even did this in the first place. And what really bothers me about this moment is that this scene tries to frame Nick, who is advising and telling his daughter to make up for what she did, which is a pretty ungrateful thing for her to do, especially concerning that it involves Ginny in some way. And some of the characters, or at least one of them, I won't give away, tries to frame Nick as being unrespectful and not understanding of his daughter's emotions and feelings. And I was just like, okay, you can't guilt trip him just because he wants her to make up for what she did, because she should make up for what she did, and she should be, like, advised by her peers to be doing this kind of thing. Yes, this thing that she does kind of make up for it, but then the same scene, she is being framed as, oh, she made her decision to make up for it, and that's how it should be. And I'm just like, she should still be doing that straight away. And again, it's just a personal thing, but she still should be making up for her decision, like, straight away. So, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to side with Nick on this one, because, yeah, in my own personal opinion, Nick and Ginny, they're not the ones that are in the wrong. And I guess another little problem I have is that I didn't really laugh as much as I wanted to, and some of the other characters can get a little bit annoying and a bit naggy. Like, Tina Fey's character can make a few little, like, tiny little things that I feel like, okay, you don't have to say that. And also, Coleman Domingo's character's boyfriend. I definitely get his intentions, I really admire his kind intentions, but I feel like, okay, maybe you could just ease it a little bit. But again, maybe that's how some people are, and I do respect his character. I do really respect his character, and I do admire his character. Just sometimes just tone it down a little bit. But honestly, these problems, they're only just personal things, because maybe other people who watch the show might not have those same problems. They might laugh at those moments. They might think that, you know, it's fine, it's perfectly fine. And if you feel that way, that's perfectly fine. I respect that. But for me, when some of these actions are so, like, rubbing me the wrong way, and yet they try to frame it as humorous, I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at these moments. I'm just pitying the poor souls that are being, like, guilt-tripped into, like, oh, you shouldn't be doing these things just because you feel this way. But, again, this is just my own personal opinions. But despite those problems, I really, really enjoyed the 4 seasons. It was a very charming, hilarious, and admirable show. And the ending, I was like, that's how you end a mini-series? But it turns out that it looks like they're renewing it for a season 2, which I'm very excited for, and I cannot wait to see what's going on in the new season of, well, the 4 seasons. I still can't, like, get that joke out of my head. But the characters were likeable, the acting's fantastic, especially Steve, Will, and Coleman. Their characters were very awesome and admirable to watch. The relationship between all these characters I find so, like, charming and lovely. Like, you can tell that these characters were best friends. The visuals fantastic, the music's fantastic. I really get, like, the kind of cozy atmosphere that the show goes for, and I thought it was really good. So overall, I'm going to give the 4 seasons a 4 out of 5. A 4 for the 4 seasons. I'm just adding in, like, random jokes one after the other. Like, this... You know what, I'm never going to do it anymore. Let's just get to the end of the review. I really enjoyed the 4 seasons, and if you would really like to check it out, I definitely recommend it. It's very wholesome and charming. And also, I would definitely recommend grabbing a cup of tea, because, you know, you feel so cozy laughing at this sitcom. But anyway, what do you guys think of this show? Do you love it? Do you hate it? And what's your favourite comedy drama series? Let me know in the comment section below. More videos to come, guys. And I'm Daniel, reviewing movies, TV shows, and doing videos. Till then, peace out, man.